Alright, so welcome to another session. It's a bit of a cold one here today, so I've got the trading hat on, so we're going to get straight into it. So it's just gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK, 1300, and we're going to be trading the Crossfire pairs. So we've got on the chart, we've got Euro USD, and what I do, I'll right click duplicate, and I'll just get all the different charts rather than kind of flipping from one chart to the other. I just like this sort of process. So Euro USD, Euro CAD. Click on duplicate that one, and we've got GBP USD. The first one's CAD, so GBP CAD and GBP USD. There we go. Right, so we're going to put all those on the 15-minute time frame. And what we're going to do, we're going to put the indicators, a trend line, or trend lines on the 15-minute. And what I always like to do as well is look at the imbalance. So we'll look at yesterday, see what happened yesterday. So that's the 1300 there, and what I do, I just put the trend lines on the chart, just get them ready for 15:15 when I put them on the candles. So green and red. Right, that's that ready. Just going to do the same for all the different pairs. Ooh, look at this. Big push down to the downside on pound CAD, 11 o'clock this morning. So we'll go on, in fact, earlier from there, like 10:30 this morning. So I'll have a quick look at the news. We'll put these on. I've got to tell you, this really, if you're looking at starting trading, this really is one of the easiest strategies you can do. I mean, the thing is with strategies, I'll tell you right now, is if you don't know anything about trading and you don't know anything about strategies, then everything is difficult. Everything's an uphill battle sometimes. But sometimes you have strategies that just resonate with you. And also you look at your aversion to risk, and also how you like to trade. Some people like to trade the longer time frame, so they'll be in a trade a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes a week, sometimes longer, and that's fine for them. And some people get a bit twitchy when it comes to staying in trades longer. So then what they do this sort of strategy. It's a scalping strategy, so it suits their mindset, it suits their risk tolerance, if you like. So when you're looking at strategies, you just look at whatever kind of resonates with you. Right, so let's have a look at imbalance, see what we've got. Got loads of imbalance here, look. This was from yesterday afternoon. So this was, that was a trade that we took on the session. So we did a session yesterday with one of my coaches, one of the guys in the session in a team, and we looked at that as a potential, but it didn't really go anywhere. So it that candle kind of went into kind of indecision, and then it went down for the downside, big time for the downside. So let's get some imbalance on. So with imbalance, this is going to go on the screen. Sorry about that. With imbalance, what I like to do is put it on the 15-minute, and we're looking for gaps in the market. So remember I said about the slate roof tiles, you need 3 all together, all touching each other. And where you haven't got 3, see that there, look, there's a gap. All right, so we'll put that one on there, and we'll put it all the way across, and we'll put it so it just touches the top of the next wick. So from there to there's the imbalance. Okay. Some people call it a fair value gap. Essentially, just call it whatever you want, as long as you know what it is and what it does. So I'll click on there, and I click my little cogwheel. What I've done, I've just set up some templates, and this template is the imbalance one. Click on OK. I'll pull it a little bit more to the relevant time, trading time. So you can see all these all these here, let me put this on the arrow, so you can see all these up, they're all overlapping. So this comes down, this comes back up, it overlaps, this one comes back up, overlaps, this one overlaps, okay, this one overlaps this one, and this candle comes down, this one overlaps. So there's no imbalance there, but you can see from this one it went down, went kind of up and down and messed about, but then there was a gap because this didn't then overlap. It should have overlapped up to here. Okay, so it was imbalance. And it just gives us areas. I mean, we know that the market needs to take out the imbalance. It's a bit like, you know, having your books out of balance. You've got to make sure there's money in there. And sometimes the imbalance gets taken out. We don't know when. And sometimes those areas of imbalance can act as support and resistance, okay, in the same way that our pivots do. Okay, so it's just, again, something to note, something to add to your stack of probabilities. Okay, we've got 5 minutes before the, so look, we've got imbalance here. This is probably going to like to get taken out. We'll put it on, okay, and it's nice to be able to see it as well. So we'll take it from that wick all the way down just to that top of that wick there, okay, just top of there, you see. Alright, so we'll hit the cog, hit where it says imbalance, okay. And you don't have to have imbalance, you have to say imbalance. Sometimes you can just have a different coloured box or just whatever resonates with you, okay, but I'm quite a visual person. So there's no wick on that one, so that one goes to there, and the top of that wick there, imbalance. We'll pull that in line, so that's near enough. Okay, any imbalance here, a little bit there, look, top of that wick to that wick there. Nothing there. And again, you've got imbalance here, but then it's been taken out, so we just say it's been mitigated by that, by this big green candle, big engulfing candle. Okay, what else have we got? Any up here? Tiny bit. Tiny bit. One of the great secrets of TradingView, how to actually make it viewable. Did we say there was something there? Was it here? Nah. Yeah, it's there, look. That's still active as well. That's from a few days ago. So that just takes it to the top of that wick. Don't think it's been taken out since. No, it hasn't. Right, so let's take that on there, put the cog on. We've got 2 minutes before we can put our trend lines on. Imbalance, okay. Right, let's go and have a look at the other two. So imbalance here, whoop, no, it isn't. That's not, it's been taken out here, look. No. Bit there, look. So what I always like to do as well is have a look at so areas of interest, because those areas of interest people start to pay attention when the price starts respecting them. Okay, so look, we'll put those on as well. Those are our blue lines. I kind of like to put those on. The areas of interest work on the 2 minute and the 2 minute and the 15-minute time frame. Okay, as I've shown, notice. Okay, right, so what have we got? One more to do with the imbalance. Wow, that's kind of choppy, that is. Choppy, chop, chop, chop. Okay, this area, consolidation. So between this pivot line here, maybe a little bit higher, and down here we've got a bit of consolidation from, what time's this? We'll call it 6:15 this morning So at the start of the Crossfire session this morning, and then all the way across to kind of where we are now, 10:45. So price is coming down. So where you get consolidation, you get a break, and then it might retest and go down for downside. It might end up breaking and going to the upside. We will see. We will see what's going to happen. Right, okay. So let's have a look at the 2 minutes. So we've still got a minute left before we... I don't know what we're doing. What we're doing, John? You need to put your trend lines on the 15 minute. So we'll keep it on the 15 minute for now. I'll keep that on. And let's have a quick look at the news. So I do prefer my FX book because it seems to get a bit more news, it's a bit more detailed. So 13:30 we've got CAD. We've also got US news, medium news for CAD, and you can always guarantee that the news something will happen around 13:30. In fact, yesterday there was no news at 13:30, and things still happened. So you've got to be mindful of that. And also Forex Factory. You can have a look at this, but it's pretty much limited in what they say. So the 6th. There we go. 130 CAD and US. Okay, that's what it's given us, and it's just given us low impact. Okay, so this is why I like to stay on the MyFX book. Right, it's gone 1/4 Let's put these on. So what I'll do is put the magnet tool on. Make this a bit bigger so you can see it. Magnet tool's on. We're looking for the higher high next to this one. Okay, let's put the crosshairs back on. So from there is this one here. Okay, and I'm looking for the lower low, which is the one next to it. So from there, I'm going to go up and just touch the bottom of that red wick. Oh, no, it's a green wick. And from here, do the same. Come all the way down to the top of that wick. There we go. Okay, that's them on. And we'll go and put it on the 2 minutes. Right, next one, Euro CAD. Magnet tool on, and I'll tell you what I'll do as well. This is what I was going to do the other day. Just take some indicators off. Okay, what the straightforward Forex indicator, which is what we have built for us. So take that off. It makes it a lot cleaner, and you can see things a lot easier. Okay, so the higher high is the red one. And you can see how there's nothing higher than this one. And the low, it looks like we may be going for it. So this line here is the start of the session, or the start of the new day. And there's nothing lower than this, so all we're going to do is we're going to go and put it on there, okay, and we're going to make this one horizontal. So I'm going to click it, bring it down, click shift, let go of my mouse, let go of the shift, and it puts it horizontal. Okay, that's it. Right, 2 minutes. And GBP CAD, let's go up. In fact, let's go back to there. Put your straightforward back on. Okay, that's it. Well done. Take the straightforward off this one. Put the magnet tool on. Look for the higher high next to the candle here, the 13-minute candle, which is this one here, and the lower low. I think we're looking again for a horizontal one. Yeah, there's the start of the session or start of the day. So this. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So it's showing us the news. There we go. Take that off. Put your straightforward back on. 2 minutes. There we go. Okay, last one. GBP USD. We'll just take the indicator off. Put the magnet tool on. The higher high is the green candle next to it. Put that straight back on there, right, all the the way down, and the lower low is this one. There we go. Straightforward. Back on my 2 minutes. There we go. Let me just go back to this one. Just make sure I did put this on the right one. Yeah, I thought I'd missed something off. So I've put that on the high. I put it on the wrong one. Look. There we go. So you can see this is the candle of interest. The red one looks tiny bit higher, but I'm going to put it on this one. And I'm going to bring this one down onto there. There we go. So that's onto there. This is on 2 minutes. Right, good. Okay. So what we're looking for is we want price to go above the green line for a buy, and we're looking for price to go below the red line for a sell. Now that's not the only thing we're looking for. We're looking for all sorts of things, all sorts of things that stack in our favour, and we just call them stacks of probability or probability stacks. All right. So let's have a quick look. Let me just. This is what I do. The way I'm talking right now is kind of my thoughts coming out verbally. So where we are now, right now. Okay, look at this. You've got this wedge coming down here. Okay, and this is what we call no man's land. Okay. There's nothing really happening. You've got support and resistance in different areas. Okay, it's a bit like being in between two magnets. You don't know which way to go. Okay, so that's really, so we don't take a trade when it's in this area. Okay, and also before the crossover. If price suddenly shoots to the upside, then we would get interested. If price comes to the downside, then likewise we'll be interested. The indicators I'm looking at is the wave down. Okay, in fact the wave up here, the wave up and the wave down. But currently we're in a wave up, okay, because we've got this triangle. The PSAR, the parabolic stop and reverse, is green, okay, it's below the price, okay, and usually where there's a distance between the PSAR, you can see that, you can see this one here, and the distance between here, okay, let me put here, R1, that's better. So the distance between this one and the candle is quite a distance. Well, not quite, there's a distance, okay, as it goes up, the distance gets less and less and less and less, okay, and then suddenly the price comes down to here and the PSAR flips, okay, that's a bad sign. We don't want to be getting any buys for that as well. Also, we've got what we call the Wadar Atar, okay, so Wadar Atar, we've got a nice dark green, okay, which could indicate a buy. We've also got this explosion line moving away from the dead zone, okay, that's a good indicator for us, okay. However, on the next candle it's gone red, okay, and that's been indicated on the Wadar by the green looking a bit weaker, okay, and also this explosion line, it starts to hook down, okay. So again, it's just ideas, it's indications or probabilities that we don't want to be taking any buys. And remember, every indicator that you've got on your chart is it's a lagging indicator. It tells us what's just happened, okay. So again, it's just additional confirmations. Nothing is going to predict what's going to actually happen, okay. Just remember that. So here on the Euro CAD, price has tried to push out, okay. It's now resisted, okay. We're now currently at this imbalance area, and again, like I said, imbalance can act as support or resistance. And right now, as you can see, it's acting as resistance. So what we're going to be interested in is the potential of this price coming out. I mean, it's way down here right now, so it's got a long way to go, and it's also in kind of no man's land. But we would be looking at price coming out of there and then having clear air from the trend line to the candle, and then we know that there's a slightly more of a positive push to the upside, whereas at the moment it isn't, okay. There's a lot of downward movement from here, a lot of imbalance. So we've got to look at that and say, okay, potentially, you know, could price go to the upside and take out this imbalance on this session? We don't know. We don't know yet, so we'll have to wait and see. GBP CAD, okay, very similar situation, kind of in no man's land, trying to push through. Did we put any? We've got a little bit of imbalance here. we haven't yet got our points of interest on, so I'm going to put those on in a second. So GBP, USD, GU, that's making a push. Okay, so probably should have been on that. But okay, so points of interest. Our first point of interest would be the moving average of 200. Okay, and it's gone past that. So our next point of interest would be these. See these higher highs here? Okay, but conservative. Okay, so what you want to be doing is putting them on as the low as possible. That's an interesting area there. Next area of interest is the pivot. Okay, so if we were to take this trade, we will go long. Currently on there. Now where do we put our stop loss? Okay, personally I would put my stop loss somewhere around, the first point of interest is the moving average, but it's only 3 pips, it's a little bit tight. Okay, so the next point of interest would be this area here, okay, with this engulfing candle, okay, which is, it's about 7 pips, and what I've found is with this strategy 7 pips is good. The next question is, have we got enough to profit? So let's have a look. What we're looking for is a 1 to 2, okay, and a 1 to 2 takes us way up here. Okay, now points of interest are here. This is the pivot, okay, and the next higher high from there is way back. Okay, we've got a nice bit of movement there, but for the purposes of this particular strategy, that take profit level is too high, in my opinion. Okay, so had we been right, thank you. You know, had we got in a little bit earlier, okay, that may well have been a potential, but at the same time, look at the Wadarata. Wadarata told us, yeah, you're in a nice positive move. Then it was like, well, actually, it's slowing down a little bit, and then now it's pushing to the upside. But look at all this choppiness. Okay, there's a lot of choppiness there, and also we've got to be mindful of the fact that we've got the news coming up at 13:30. We're 4 minutes away from the news. And what can happen quite often with news, where's my thing gone? With news is that they're pushing price up just to take people out of stop losses, because here you've got liquidity, okay? Here, down below, so you've got this consolidation. People are going to put stop losses up here, okay, and people are going to put stop losses down there as well for when you get a breakout. Okay, and you know, behind news, when's the news? 13:30. Let's put a little line on here. Okay, so 13:30. There's a line. There's the news. Let's see what's going to happen to price. Okay, price has already pushed up. Okay, is it going to push down and then back up, take out people's stop losses, just so the banks can go and have a nice Christmas. Nice Christmas bonus for the banks and all those pension funds. Right. Nothing much happening with that. So they're all pretty much the same situation, kind of no man's land with Euro USD, Euro CAD. It's trying to push out. Remember, we've got CAD news coming in, so you know, if the news is favourable for CAD, then this price will go down because CAD will get stronger. If it's the other way, obviously the negative, the opposite is going to happen. Okay, but we're pushing out. Let's just see if price goes above this line. Remember that this imbalance line is going to be an area of currently resistance right now. So we're 1:47. What I tend to do is when we get on the 2 minute time frame, when we get a candle that's favourable, you don't want to go, it's favourable, it's going, quick, get in. Okay, give it a minute or two to see what's going to happen. And I always like to give it probably at least 30 seconds just to see what's going to happen. Never get in the habit of thinking you're going to miss out. Okay, just don't, because you're getting involved in a trade on an emotional decision, and you're putting your emotions into a market that is completely emotionless. It's just a thing. Okay, so never trade with your emotions. I know it's difficult to, but the more experience you get, the more you'll do it based on just logic. What have we got here? Okay, yeah, it's pushed out of the green trend line. Okay, But where you've got a situation like this, you've still got this kind of no man's land area. So for this to be a positive buy trade, I would want it to go above the red trend line in a similar way if it was just green. Okay, in terms of take profit levels, we've got this area here. We've got this moving average. The 200 moving average is always a nice area. So this potentially could be a good buy trade and taking profits in just probably below this area. So we'll see a bit later. The other thing I don't really talk about much is the moving averages. Okay, so on the screen, I've got the 5, 13 and 62 and the 200 moving average. And what I like to do as well is make sure those moving averages are in the right order. So right now at the top, I've got the 200. The green down here is the 62. The yellow is the 13. And the white is the 5. So currently they're all in a decent kind of order, so that's okay. It's looking good for a buy in terms of the order. All we've got to do now is look at price action. Okay, and price action is just meandering. You can see how it's pushed up to this area here. So we've got a wave up on there, but we've just turned. So you can see these red candles down here. Okay. This is our wave, and sometimes when you're in a trade, the wave can sometimes tell you the direction of the trade, so it can give you more confidence about staying in a trade. So let's say if you were in the trade here and then suddenly it started to retest, okay, the wave is telling us, well, no, you're still in a downtrend, so stay in the trade. Okay, and again, it's down to you. So what's happened here is that we've got the red wave. Okay, it went a bit thin there. So it's there. The wave has got a little bit bigger, and now the wave is just behind there. You can just see it's just changed colour. Okay. Right. So this is the one that we were kind of talking about earlier, pound USD, and in terms, let me put this all the way here. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Pound USD. We've got 15.30. I've got a while away for the news, but we've still got CAD news at 13.30, which is just now. Okay, nothing really seems to have happened majorly. Okay, still a little bit undecided what's going to happen. That was our point of interest, so it went up to the point of interest, broke through it, and then bounced off. So again, if this potentially could have been okay for a buy, as shown here, but again, it's the take profit levels that you got to look at, and when you take into account things like broker spread and your risk to reward, is it really worth risking? If we go down to here, for instance, to there, okay, you'd never go for a negative risk to reward, okay, like a 0.4. Okay, you're risking more than you're going to gain. It's not worth it. Okay, what you want to be doing is going for a minimum of 1 to 2. Okay, even here, you're still risking 7 pips or 7.1 for 7 pips, so it's like a 1-to-1 risk ratio. It's not worth it. Okay. And again, you look at account management. You want to be going at least for a 1 to 2 as a take profit 1, and then moving up from there. Okay. Right. Let's see what CAD's doing. Euro CAD. Did the news have any effect? Probably negative for there. So the CAD. Yeah. So the news was not favourable for CAD. Okay. So where you've got Euro CAD, what we're looking at now is the price of the euro compared to the CAD, because the euro in this situation is the primary pair. And so if the CAD news was not looking favourable, then that's going to boost or bolster the price of the euro, and that's what's happened. The price is now going up. Okay. So if we're looking at this, we've got a favourable buy going on. Okay. So currently we're in a wave up. We've got a green on here on our wave. The Wadarata it's kind of in the explosion zone, but it's just starting to curve up, as you can see, moving away. So if we're going to take a long on this, we'll get into a trade about here, and there is our engulfing candle. So again, only 3.2 pips. I always like somewhere in the region of about 7. So where are we looking? About 7. We've got the bottom of this engulfing candle. That's quite a nice looking stop loss just down here. And then if we were to go down to the next one, we're looking at 8.5, which starts to get a little bit too much for something on the 2 minutes. So we're going to go here. Okay. Now, have we got enough to profit on a 1 to 2? That's not bad. Okay, that's not bad because it's, I mean, ideally I would have wanted to go a take profit or take a take profit just below the 200 moving average, but at the moment, if it breaks through into this area, I mean, you've got your pivot here, and you can see, funnily enough, the pivot is almost near this level of imbalance. If it breaks through here, then the chances are it'll go past the 200 and maybe even take out the imbalance completely. So let's have a look at that. Let's see what we're going to do. Let's just move that little guy just over to there. There we go. That's better. That's better. Let's see how we go. Okay, so the other one, if we were to look at another CAD, okay, well, there's a similar situation with the pound CAD. However, what you don't want to be doing is going into trades with the same pairs, because obviously if you win, you're going to be of an advantage. You'll win 2, but if you lose 1, you're going to lose 2. Okay. So a rule of thumb is always just trade with 1 pair in 1 currency. Okay, and again, this is kind of choppy. This isn't really doing much at all. It's kind of looks like it's going back into consolidation. It might want to try and push out, but the price isn't doing too much on the Wadar Atar. It's telling us that it's getting stronger. But if you look at this explosion line, okay, it went up. And the explosion line currently is going back into the dead zone. Okay, maybe just starting to go up again. Okay, but we can see that by the fact that the candle's gone green. It's gone up. All right. So again, what are we on? 1 minute and 51 on this time frame. I would want some clear air between. So he's touching this area here, and I would want a little bit of clear air from that. From that moving average. That's a 62 moving average. This is a 200. Again, any line that you've got on your chart can act as support and resistance, and you just got to weigh up the pros and cons accordingly. Again, if you look at this area here, this is an area of interest. This area here, see, it's just where the price goes up. Price touches it and comes down. Okay, there, it's gone up and come down again. So there, you got a touch here, touching all the way across, touching. So it's an area of interest. Okay, and the thing is with these areas, and when you put trend lines on, it just comes down to just practice and repetition. So that's an area. That is an area there, but there's more candles touching this area. So for me, it makes it a bit more of a significant price area. And this area here. Okay. So here, there, loads of touches. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll just see what price does. Does price, represent, or does it correlate to here? It will do, because it has done previously. Okay. If I was taking this area as a take profit level, I would be really conservative. So instead of saying, okay, my optimism bias is that price will come up all the way to there, because it has done before, what I tend to do is go, no, let's come down to about here, okay, where you've got more touches, okay, more touches, and that is going to be our so if I was going to take a take profit, I would take it below the 200. Okay, so there's your price, your area of interest. There below it is your 200, and then below it will be my take profit. So as long as I can make 2%, I would do it. So let's just see what happens if we did a long on this. So we would go stop loss, and again very similar to the previous one. You kind of get your pivot there. I would be tempted to put it there. I know it's a bit longer or a bit more, but it seems like a decent place. And here we've only got 1.2 risk to reward. The 2 1 to 2 is here, so you can see there it says the risk to reward 2. Okay, so it's a push. I wouldn't take this trade, but we'll put it on as a no. There you go. So it's not the best sort of trade because it's still a bit choppy and it's still straddling the moving average. So we'll just see what happens with that one. What was happening here? Yeah, I mean similar sort of thing there. You've got the price straddling the 200. So again, you'd want clear air above that, and we haven't had that yet. So still nothing really happening with that. Euro USD. Oh God, nothing. Again, straddling the trend line. Look at the volume. The volume's just gone. No volume at all. Okay, so that's kind of telling me if it's a US pair, which it is, the chances are that it might just consolidate all the way to the news at 3 o'clock. Next one, this was the CAD, wasn't it? Yeah, we put this on after the news came in when the CAD depreciated a bit. And again, we're straddling this moving average. We've broken above the moving average. Let me just put the arrow on. Yeah, so yeah, we've gone. We put it back on there. I'll just see the crosshairs. Right, there we go, crosshairs. So yeah, we've gone above the moving average. We've got some clear air. It's now an engulfing candle. The Water is showing us a positive move for the upside because it's a darker green. And because the explosion line is moving away from the dead zone, so it's moving up, and again they're all indicators. We've got a pivot here, and the pivot again is going to act as support and resistance. We've got the moving average, so again ideally, in an ideal situation, you'd want to take profit below here, and you'd also probably, when it comes to the pivot, if you start breaking through the pivot, then I would probably consider moving your stop loss up to there, so you're locking in profits. So from that area there where we took the trade from, you'd lock in profits at about sort of 7 or 8 pips. Maybe come down to this engulfing candle. So you'd maybe secure 3 or 4 pips before it moved across. So again, it's pushing. We'll just see what it's going to happen. It's only got 4 seconds left on this, so it's looking favourable. If it goes above, straddling. I was hoping for a bit of clear air on that pivot line. So the pivot line still acting as a little bit of resistance, and then as soon as we get that clear air, then it acts as a bit of a support. Okay, and the same sort of thing for the 200. It can act as a bit of a resistance as it comes up there, and then as it goes past it, then it goes to support. So things not looking too bad for that. What's happening on the CAD? Probably a similar situation. Yeah, there was no pivot there. That's okay, and our area of interest that we just put on is above the 200, so the chances are this one is probably going to go up to the 200 in slightly less dramatic fashion. It'll probably hit the imbalance. It'll probably think about it, and potentially it could go up, but again, you know, as soon as profit starts to go up, we can lock in those profits. As soon as price starts to go up, should I say. So currently on that, 6 pips to the moving average, 11 to the top of our so 17 pips on a 1 to 2. What's happening with the GBP USD? Oh, it's starting to go up. You can see it's approaching our area of interest, and again the area of interest is just previous highs that we looked at all the way along. I mean, this is when's this from? That's from here. So yeah, previous highs. Again, put them on conservatively. Always think, where could it go in, you know, given a pessimistic view. Okay, and that's where I've put it there. So it's just touching it. Just touching the area of interest, the chances are it's going to act as a bit of resistance, so price might well come down before testing it again and then pushing through. We're on we just formed this new candle. Yeah, that's right. We got on this one a little bit late, didn't we? Because I was talking, and ideally we should have got in a little bit lower, which would have increased our risk to reward, which means we could have brought our take profit down a little bit more, and we could have locked in some profits already. The thing is, locking in profits, it's always one of those things that you just got to do over time. Some people say just let it ride. Some people say, well, if you lock in profits, your stop loss may well come down to below where you're locked in and then go for more profits. So you just gotta test it. You've got to do loads of trades and just get used to the strategy and just get used to. Look what happened there. Little tinker. It came all the way down. Okay, and then all the way back up again. Okay, so what are we on now? We're on 1344. There's no news, but that certainly was a manipulated move. And if you consider how many pips is in that little run there, that's only 4.9 pips. But at the same time, it's still $50 million in real terms. And I'll guarantee that wasn't me or any of my trading group. Okay, it's banks and hedge funds and pension funds doing this. It wants to go. Okay, what we've got right now is a bun fight between the buyers and the sellers. All right, I want to buy now, I want to sell, I want to buy and I want to sell, I want to put some more money in, I've got more money than you. Okay, so that's what we've got going on right now. And we just got to sit back and go, okay, well, who's going to win? We don't know. Okay, but we are in an uptrend. Okay, so you always want to go, well, for this area anyway. This area is an uptrend. We'll see what it's like in terms of the longer picture. Kind of in a downtrend of a longer picture. So look at the 15 minute. 15 minute. We're in a downtrend on the 15 minute. Okay, so what you want to be doing is going with the trend, unless you've got a specific strategy. And we are scalping, so we can look at the trend on the smaller time frames. At the moment, it's kind of going up on this very small time frame, the 2 minute. So I'm thinking that price does want to go up, okay, and may well go up to this pivot before doing something. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So Euro USD, that's going up again. That's quite a nice trade. That looks all right. Looks favourable. We probably wouldn't get in now because we're a bit too late. But if we would have got in a little bit earlier down here, excuse me. TV always, or the monitors always want to go on standby. Right. Yeah. I mean that's quite good. Wadarata showing us positive. In terms of the strategy, we've got the indicator. We've got a wave up. PSARs are a nice distance away, and that's going to continue. That's going to continue going up, probably to this area here. So the next area of interest is this area. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Put it on conservatively. If I'll bring it across there. Area of interest, and then obviously the next area of interest is the pivot. Yeah, pivots, and then looking at this area here. So that's not looking too bad. Right, see how that goes. Euro CAD. Okay, there we go. Look at that, lovely. It's broken out of that imbalance. Like I said, it probably would. I say go a little bit of resistance where the 200 moving average was. So it kind of went up to there, went past it, thought about it, came back down, pushed to the upside, decided to take out all this imbalance, and now it's going to do its own thing from there. So, if I was on this trade and not teaching, then what I would be doing, I would be taking the take profit 1 here, locking in profits, and going for take profit 2 up here. Okay, so that's a decent result. So what have we got in there? 13 pips on there, and the entire length of that was 20 pips, 25 pips if you take it up to the top there. That would be it. That was the Euro CAD. GBP CAD, yeah, probably a similar story. They said, look, originally I said to this would be, it's a 1 to 2, but there's did I get in a bit late on this one? Yeah, there's not really enough in it to do a sensible 1 to 2. Your sensible 1 to 2 would come just below your 200 moving average, which is, you can see the price went up. Okay, there was a bit of a doji candle there, a bit of indecision. It went up to just past the 200 moving average, came back, and then now it's dropping away from there as well. So these moving averages are so kind of important to look at. However, look at we've got Wadarata is telling us it's a strong move. Now it's kind of slightly weakening off. We've got this retrace on here, and sometimes when you get a move to the upside, you get a retrace, then it may well go up and take out this imbalance as it has done on here as well. So there might be some similarities or commonalities of that trade with this one. We'll see. However, if we're in this trade, you could quite easily have just cashed out, depending on your risk tolerance. But you've got 11 pips on there. Not quite a 1 to 2, not quite what you wanted, but we're still in profit. So Euro US, again still in profits, but not much. That's the 1 to 2, and that takes us above the pivot line for the take profit level. Again, it's not a particularly great trade. We've got news at 3. Yeah, US news at 3. So we'll see what's going to happen with that one. But you can see, look at that, the point of interest, the blue line, where I put it. Look how our price is respecting it. And what you want to do when you're putting things like trend lines on and your points of interest, the more you put on, the more you get used to where to put them in the first place. And then what you do is, if you put this on, the price just didn't really understand what it was doing. If price didn't respect that at all, then you go, okay, where am I actually putting these lines? Okay, potentially that could have come a little bit lower. Okay, so again, if we look at, just take the, turn them off. There we go. It's better. So yeah, we could have taken it down to here to have been a little bit more conservative, and that would have been pretty much bang on. So you got this area here, these two candles. But again, it gives us more of an indication of what's happening, and in terms of taking profits and in terms of what may happen to price and price action. That's pretty accurate for now. But again, price is going to the downside, so we'll see what happens from there. Right, let's go back to the Euro USD. So the first thing I'm looking at here is the fact that the PSAR is a good distance away from the candle. Okay, and where the PSAR is a good distance away, that's one stack of probabilities that tells us it's still in a nice buy-in phase. Our wave is still green, and it's increasing as well. Look, see the distance is getting more. Okay, a Wadarata is, the explosion line is still going up. Okay, although we're currently in a slightly weaker phase of growth, but it's still pretty decent for a buy. Our point of interest is up here, and like I said, the chances are that this price, I mean, obviously we're a bit too late to get in this now, but if we were to get into this down here, then my first take profit would have been up here. Okay, or my first take profit, let me just say it again, you look for favorable take profit levels, and that's the most important thing, is protecting your account. Okay, so where is your take profit level within the confines of your risk liability, and then we take a a 2% profit based on our stop loss. And then we can look at take profit 1, 2 and 3, okay, based on the price action at the time, okay. And it's as simple as that. Okay, first profit I'm going to take here, second profit I'm going to take up here, okay. And if we got in somewhere I don't know, somewhere around there, okay, we're looking at 9 pips and 16 pips, okay, which is good on a 2-minute time frame. And then if we thought this was going to go for more, we'd look at the 15-minute, and then we'd say, okay, are we going to stay in the trade based on the 15-minute? Okay, so we're going to stay in a longer trade. So we look, there's our point of interest. That point of interest also correlates with this wick down here. Okay, so lots of information you can get from just putting, you know, one or two lines on. We've got the imbalance, so potentially it could go up to the point of interest, go up to our pivot line, okay, and then take out the imbalance, bearing in mind that on the 15-minute candle, if we're going to do a longer trade, then we've got our imbalance here. So this, again, the bottom of this imbalance would be another take profit level, and then we've got points of interest and also the resistance 1. So there's lots of interesting stuff happening right now. Let's just see what happens. That's Euro US, Euro CAD, just starting to tail off a little bit on that buy. But again, we've got another lovely trade, really simple to do. And on the 2-minute, what we've gone from 13.34 to 44, 10 minutes of a trade, and you're done. And that's one of the benefits of scalping, is that if you're doing shifts or you're working or you've got commitments and you can't, you know, spend. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Even the people that spend, even the people that do longer period trading, so people that do the longer strategies, they stay in trades for a day, 2 days a week. They'll set the trade, they'll set the take profit level. They don't sit in front of the computer watching it all day. They mitigate their risk, they manage it in the right way, and they walk away. And because of repetition, and because they know their strategy, they know the potential, or they know what they need to do to keep checking their trades. And it's not a case of sitting by the computer for 12 hours a day. It really isn't. But yeah, scalping, it can be over and done with in a few minutes. Sometimes if you get the really what's the word, turbulent, the word will come to me in a minute, but if you look at something like gold on a Friday, it moves like ridiculous, and you can be in and out of a trade in seconds. Okay, you've got to be pretty switched on to do that, but it can be exciting. So the pound USD, usually where you've got, this is the news, this is the high, well, it's not high impact, but I think it's all low impact, but either way it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of news there, and the reason news is significant is because the banks use it to hide behind to manipulate the markets, to liquidate people's stop losses and benefit themselves. So you've always got to be mindful of the news. But anyway, what I was going to say is that you can still take a trade away from the news. Okay, like I said, you sometimes find that the markets will consolidate, and kind of that's what I'm thinking may well happen here. I don't think price is going to go up to this pivot. We're currently at our point of interest, and if I wouldn't have gotten this trade. I put this on just for illustration purposes, but if I was in this trade right now, I would be tempted to just cash out, get rid of it. We're in a bit of profit, or a tiny bit. Just get rid of it. Okay, and then you're not looking at the screen. This has gone into consolidation, and it will more than likely consolidate all the way to the news, in which, and it'll go up or down in one direction. So that's that. Okay, let's go back to Euro USD. Still positive for the buy. Oh, this is the 15-minute time frame. Let's put it back on the 2. So on the 2-minute time frame, it's kind of, look, you get your push and then it goes back down again. Okay, push, retest, push, retest, push. So I'm guessing it's going to reach our point of interest, and I'm guessing it's going to go up to here as well. So, you know, if I was in this trade, I'd still be in it. Still be in that one. Yeah, this is the Euro CAD, and let's say right now it just seems to be going sideways. You get this sideways rotation, which just means it's in consolidation. And you get all sorts of weird different sayings and things that people say. Okay, so they'll say sideways rotation or consolidation or whatever they want to do. And what you can do in this instance, okay, you can put a GAN box on. Where's our GAN box? That's the fibs, isn't it? Try that one. forget the GAN box. Just put a box on. Let's make it simple. Right. So there, I'm going to put there and sort of here. So this area is your area of consolidation, sideways rotation. Okay. And what you want to be doing is looking at when price comes out at the top or out on the bottom is when you want to be paying attention. Okay, and you can put an alert on there, put a trend line on, put an alert on it. So you're not having to stare at the charts. So you get an alarm goes off, you get an email come through, you get a notification on your phone through TradingView, and you can come look at the charts and see what's going to happen. Okay. So they're going to continue to the upside or come to the downside. So if we look at the way this has gone, okay, again, potentially price could even go up to here, okay, to meet that higher high. But the other thing about putting this box on is that you've also just identified, let's put this box on a bit more conservatively, on the wick. So that wick, on that wick, the box now represents our support and resistance. Okay, so we had a bit of resistance, now it's breaking through, and it's still offering resistance. What we want, what we've got, a minute and 29 seconds on this time frame before we get a new candle. And it's always interesting to find out what's going to happen. Is it going to break through? Is it going to push down? Is it going to resist? Is it going to break out? Whatever, what's going to happen? And that, again, it's just all about understanding price action. Now, even though it's coming through, and even though if we were considering, you know, a buy trade, you don't want to get yourself excited, you know, because like, look at now, it's going back down again. Okay, so we've got to wait. A lot of what we do in trading is just waiting for that clear air, waiting for the right opportunities to come to us rather than chasing opportunities, which is what I used to do when I first started this. I used to chase it, chase the trade, it's going up. Okay, oh, I've lost. Right, chase it back down again. Oh, I've lost that one as well. Chase it back. Okay, I'm just going to give up now. The markets are against me. They know me. Yeah, everything's rigged up in their own favour, not yours. Okay. These are all things that people go through. All the emotions that we go through. The markets are against me, and alright, so see where this is going to go. So again, if we were in this trade, this is where we would say, okay, let's take another take profit level. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Couple of seconds left before it repaints, and then we should be into clear air. Now what sometimes happens, I was going to say this, what sometimes happens is that we get the clear air, and then on the first candle it goes down for the sell, and that's what's happening now. Okay, so again, we just got to wait. If we're considering the buy, we would look at this and go, okay, it's in clear air, okay, but what's happening? Okay, so currently we are in a wave up. There's our wave up indicator. Okay, this is our custom made indicator, wave up. Okay, we're in a wave up on the wave, and it's a big wave. Okay, the Wadarata is showing us, oh actually, hold a minute, we're starting to come back down again, and also we've gone from a green candle to this light green candle. So maybe we shouldn't have got in for anything at the moment, because we're only a minute in. Okay, so yeah, we could have jumped in and gone, yeah, it's in clear air, but let's just sit tight, wait, see what happens. And what has happened, it's come back to this area, and this price is now back in resistance, so we have to wait all over again. Okay, so if we look at the PSAR, okay, the distance on the PSAR to the candle was there. Okay, the distance got greater, it increased, and now look what's happened. The distance has decreased, okay, from that dot to the bottom of that candle. All right, we've already taken profit, so we don't care. Okay, we've already cashed out, or we've already moved our stop loss to break even, so or put it into profit, so we don't care. It's always good to have a look at the market and see what's happening. Okay, so look at GBP CAD before we call it a day. Yeah, again, same thing, into sideways consolidation. We've got the news here at 1500 for Canadian, and then we'll see what happens at the news. Where you get high impact news, you know that price is going to get manipulated. It's going to go all over the place. As retail traders, which is what we are, we just wait. We don't try and get involved in competing with banks. We don't try and predict what's going to happen, because we can blow accounts really quick. You know, if you get high impact news and the price moves, 50 pips in one direction, you don't get your numbers right, you can blow your account. Okay, so we just stay out of it. Like I always say, it's like the flamethrower. Okay, flamethrower in a room. We don't walk in the room and find out what's gone on. We just wait until the flames have died down, the smoke's gone, before we go in. Okay, and that's how we do in high impact news. So GBP USD, this is the one that we probably would have got out of earlier on. Nothing really happened. And as I said, we got, as I was showing you about getting into this, I think we got in when, yeah, it was still straddling the moving average, and it wasn't very good, this one anyway. So but again, even if we got into this and we took a loss, what are we losing? We're losing 1% of our account. Big wow, who cares? 1%. Okay, we've made 2% on 2 other trades, so we've made 2% for the day if we actually got involved in this one in the first place, which we didn't. So that's fine. All right, so always think about stop losses, and always think about how much you could potentially lose rather than thinking about profits. Always protect your account first and foremost. So yeah, that's again, we've gone up a bit, but it's still resisting on this box here, this area. I'll look at one last one before we go. Yeah. Anyway, I hope this session has helped. All I do on these sessions, I come on, I tell you what I do, and I just pretty much vocalize my thoughts. What I'll do, obviously, this is my new account, my new Forex account. So currently at the time I'm recording this, there's probably half a dozen different sessions on there. So what I'm going to be doing is building them up, and once we get some more subscribers, okay, because it's a brand new account, so we're starting from scratch. So if you got some value from this, then hit that subscribe button, and again, give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if we get some more followers, then what we'll do, we can do this live, and we can trade together, and that'll be really kind of interesting, just to talk you through live and really increase your skills of trading. And again, you can join us as a live trader in our community, and I'll put a link in the description below to show you how to do that. And let me tell you very quickly, that's the only reason I trade. The only reason I trade right now is because I got together with the community that traded live, because I tried for years to try and trade and just didn't get any of it, right, until I started trading live. And you know, when you've got somebody in front of you who is trading, you're following along, you understand the charts, and they say, okay, this means that, this means that, this means whatever, and it takes a while to learn it. Okay, it took me a while, but you know, the only reason I do it is because I could follow along. So that's something really valuable that we do as well. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe, give us a like, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.